You'll hear about the load times a little bit later, but just to put the biggest flaw of the game into perspective, this clip, which is going to be superimposed throughout my video review, shows the load time that starts from booting up the game from the cross-media bar to loading your save file all the way to when you are first able to interact with your iPad. There's no slowed down footage, no cuts, just uninterrupted video. Okay, now on to the review. Hot off the mediocre buzz of Eyepet for the PlayStation 3 comes the portable counterpart, Eyepet for the PSP. The PSP version of Eyepet, much like its older PlayStation 3 brother, tasks the player with taking care of an androgynous but sickeningly cute monkey rat thing. I named mine Godzilla. The game takes advantage of the recently released PSP camera in order to virtually superimpose the bizarre little creature into our world, in order to give players a glimpse at what it might be like to own and take care of a real pet. Using the camera with the Eyepet works well and functions similarly to the recently released Invisimals. The game includes a cardboard square that must be placed in view of the camera in order for the Eyepet to show up properly. Once the cardboard square is in place, it's very simple to rotate your camera around your Eyepet and watch it do cute stuff from all angles. Taking care of the Eyepet is incredibly simple and barely required. You can feed it and you can wash it, and that's about it. You really don't even have to clean it if you find subjecting a terribly cute monkey rat thing to possibly hazardous soaps morally detestable. There are games to be played with the Eyepet, but none have even an inkling of depth. Eyepet is really just a series of shallow minigames centered around an incredibly cute, well-animated mascot. The game never attempts to be anything more than that, but even a little bit of depth would have led to a much more rewarding experience. Playing the minigames unlocks new outfits and accessories for your Eyepet, and there are a few different games to choose from. You can jump on trampolines, bowl, look for treasure, go fishing for fish, and race cars and boats. Racing in the car amounts to circling the vehicle around a small course repeatedly while the Eyepet clings on for dear life in his 3-mile-per-hour adventure. It's very cute. The boat racing game has the player using the overused and incredibly annoying blow into the microphone game mechanic to move the sailboat around a similar small course. Blowing into the microphone can be substituted with hitting the X button, which you will do very quickly. The game is made for children, and they will enjoy it. The technology is very cool, there is quite a bit to unlock, and the Eyepet is incredibly cute. These are all elements that can be overlooked by an admitted hardcore gamer, but one element that cannot be overlooked, and one that hinders the game throughout, are the load times. Every action requires an absurd amount of loading. Bringing the Eyepet into its house, selecting minigames, and even directing actions within the games are all subject to crippling load times. The game is designed to be played in intermittent bursts. You should be able to load up your game, feed your Eyepet, maybe wash it depending on your feelings about the shampooing of animals, go fishing, and then put the Eyepet to bed. Eyepet is not a game meant to be played for more than 20 or 30 minutes at a time, and when half of that is spent waiting for the game to load, you'll start getting horrific flashbacks to the install sequences in Metal Gear Solid 4. Eyepet is an impressive little showcase, but the limited use of the camera for anything other than getting a good look at your Eyepet really gives the game the stink of expanded tech demo. You may think the smell comes from refusing to shampoo your Eyepet, but it's not, because your Eyepet is not a physical being. Sorry to ruin the illusion. The game is adorable, and for patient children who like cute things, it will be an enjoyable experience. For others, though, there simply isn't enough here, and the wait times between the limited offerings are simply unacceptable. Eyepet has to learn that in the real world, you can't get by on looks alone.